starting off by saying like there hasn't been a lot of delays with television this year, which is the reason why AMC is having a conniption with Universal.
Right.
Because Universal released their Trolls World Tour. It's going to be hard to say. They released it to video on demand.
Right.
Straight to the homes for
with a $20
people.
Price tag. They kept that, right? I know. Yeah.
$20 price tag, which I do want to touch on later because...
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, okay. So they released it, and they're saying it has done way better than expectations. And so they released a statement saying it'll be kind of a case-by-case basis on if they start releasing movies straight to VOD or into the theater. And AMC is pissed because they're saying that there has always, I don't know if there's a written agreement or if it's just an agreement in Hollywood, that typically a movie is in theaters for 90 days before it can be made available for any kind of in-home entertainment. These, which kind of don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Streaming, whatever. And so Universal is saying that they might, even after theaters start opening, when, COVID is over, there might be some smaller movies they want to release directly to VOD because it's cheaper, which I know you did a lot of research with the finances of Hollywood.
This is what I do for work anyway.
Yeah.
Accounting. That's what I want to get to. I think, first I want to start off by saying that the rise of streaming services and the decline in box office sales has already been here. And it was pointing us into that digital era of film, but now the coronavirus has amplified it. And I think my biggest thing is I think Disney is the biggest studio who's already ahead of the curve because they already have their streaming platform.
Right.
And
well, I do want to mention NBC Universal.
Yeah.
Does have Peacock coming out later this year.
Right. And that is honestly what was always going to be the future. And it's funny because it's going to wind up coming in a full circle. What's going to happen is all these big studios, right? Disney, Warner Bros., Universal, 20th Century Fox, Columbia Pictures, A24. Like, these people are going to have their own streaming platforms. And at first it's going to suck because you're going to have to pay individually for them.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen is Verizon Files is going to start bundling them, and then you're going to be able to pay for it. It's just going to come cable in a different form.
I hope that current cable suppliers are looking at this and coming up with strategies and plans of what
Joe
they can
Schmo's
do in
make
the
a
future.
company and
Exactly.
start bundling. Exactly.
I feel like that's probably going to happen.
That's why Disney is so ahead of the curve and in prime position to survive anything because they're already there and established. And these other people have to hop on it. I don't think the movie theaters are going to die out completely, but it's hard to compare with the home experience with home audio theaters now. Being able to sit on your recliner with your dog on your lap, like beer in hand, whatever.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was going to mention is I sadly agree with you. And it makes me really sad because I've always been a fan of going to the movies, although we don't get to go.
It's too fucking expensive.
I was getting ready to say we don't even get to go as often as we would like because in the New York, New Jersey area, I mean, just me and you just to get tickets, not food, nothing else, is like what, $35?
More. A ticket
40?
is usually $20 now. If you want to see Dolby, it's $23.
Yeah,
if you want to see a regular movie, it's $17. So yeah, $34 for two.
Yeah, I can't imagine
popcorn and a soda. That's it.
Oh my God,
if I just want a popcorn and icy, where it's $60.
I think we end up spending like $70 or $80 when we go to the movies.
It is literally cheaper to take someone to a steak dinner. Sometimes.
Well, and this is the point that I'm getting at. I think that, and there's some niche movie theaters out there now who do like the dinner theater experience.
Yeah, but that's even more.
But I think that's what is going to have to happen. I think they're going to have to offer other amenities
and
when
dumb
you
down
see
the
this
price
movie.
a lot. I think they have to dumb down the price a lot.
Yeah. Like I think they're going to have to offer.
Then they will literally disappear movie theaters if they don't change their pricing.
Right. Like I think that it's going to have to be more of an experience rather than just literally going and sitting in a seat. Like we're going to have service. alcohol for some people.
Hell yeah.
You know, like
Especially if the movie
maybe,
sucks, like at least give me like a nice whiskey to come with it, you know?
and like maybe even like more of an immersive experience, like afterwards. Like, I don't know if there could be like some trivia or who know. I don't know. But I think
Bring back
that
the arcades. You noticed that like the past like 5 years they've stripped down all the arcades. I mean, I was
Why?
still ripping those things at 20 years old, 22 years. I don't
know.
give a fuck. I want to play the motorcycle game before my movie.
Is it that
Crane
expensive to
games.
keep the arcades
They-
going?
Every AMC and movie theater up here took all of those out in the past 5 years.
Yeah, even our small movie theater close to where I live in Kentucky, like it's not. I mean, it's like its own. It's very small.
Yeah, like, it's got to be like
but they
an arc-
got rid of their arcade.
Yeah. Honestly, that was the best part because you would go like an hour before your movie
Mm-hmm.
and like bullshit.
Yeah,
So I want to get into the financial part of everything.
yeah. I want you
like,
to because I think it's confusing.
Like we're saying, I totally believe that going digitally will be more profitable for these big studios and more importantly for the smaller films.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, what I don't think people understand is gross is not net. The box office numbers and just overall, you might see, oh, well, now if this movie's digital, it's not going to make $1 billion in the box office. Yeah, it might make 700 million, but I bet you it would be more profitable because the costs
Yeah.
are going to be slashed in half. So let's talk about that. If a movie released digitally and put a $20 to $25 price tag on a 48-hour rental, let's say you could get a family price, $30, right? Would you pay it? Absolutely. That's the cost of 1.5 movie tickets up here in our area, New York, New Jersey. And now you can have a movie night with your friends or family, everyone chip in $5 for the movie, another $10 for food,
Yeah.
chips, snacks, whatever. $15, golden. I would do that all day. Now, the problem is that profitable for the studio? Like I mentioned, a combination of that, selling it to a streaming platform or having your own streaming platform where you reap the benefits of subscriptions.
Right.
I don't think I wrote down the actual number, but Disney alone is
Oh, they're making like
I think it was like they're making over $1 billion in like 5 months
yeah.
of their current subscribers.
Yeah.
So revenue is not a problem. You know, and then they could partner with Amazon or Google for another streaming platform. There's totally tons of outlets for business strategy to make up the money that you would lose in the box office. Now, what I don't think people realize, you can all look this up. I won't get too accounting wise into it because I know it's a snooze fest for a lot of people and it's going to go over your head. You're not going to understand it. Look up Hollywood accounting. And you will learn that these movies, to begin with, are not profitable. Not profitable in a sense where they record them as losses on their balance sheets and receipts so that they don't have to pay royalties out or to give a percentage of the profit to the cast and directors.
Yeah.
So, and how does that happen? There's 3 main factors in this Hollywood accounting that reduce the reported profit of a movie, and they all have to do with calculated overhead. The production overhead. Studios on average calculate production overhead to be around 15% of production costs. Distribution overhead. Films typically take 30 to 40% of what they receive from movie theaters, and another 30-40% of that goes to the movie theater also. You're talking about, and then on marketing overhead is another 10% of advertising costs. You add up all those percentages, that's like 95% of all the money coming in is being distributed back out
Yeah.
and labeled as a cost on the balance sheet.
Right.
You don't believe me? I'll give you some prime examples real quick. Return of the Jedi, top 20 all time in the box office, never profitable. How does that make sense? A fucking $32 million.
You're saying never profitable. They made money and they didn't lose any money on it, but
They record it as a loss.
exactly.
The studio does.
Right. So the studio,
Studio's basically paying itself back.
exactly. There you go.
That's
I feel like that's important to know because it's not like these like movies that we're seeing that are making billions of dollars. It's like, where's the money going?
Exactly.
It's these big studios are kind of fudging the numbers
Exactly.
to make it
It's
look.
bullshit.
Yeah, they're bullshitting it.
So that's why I think going digitally is going to kind of fuck the studio over, but whatever. The studio's been fucking over the film industry for years, decades.
Well, it's
So-
not even. I don't even think it's gonna fuck over the studios if the studios get ahead of the curve and create their own streaming platforms.
Right. So more examples like Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix ended up with $167 million loss on their receipt. You can look up the actual receipt.
That's
was
insane.
it was leaked somewhere. You could see how Warner Bros. Screwed them out of over $350 million in distribution, advertising, and interest fees.
Yeah.
It grossed over $1 billion in the box office. So think movie theater gets their cut. Warner Bros. Turns around and says, "Oh, it costs $350 million to distribute your film and advertise it." I mean, there was a whole lawsuit with Peter Jackson and the director of The Lord of the Rings on his whole series. How the hell was that not profitable?
Yeah.
That trilogy. Their Hollywood accounting recorded it as a loss. So anyway, I'm already getting too much into it. Look it up. Hollywood accounting. It's a thing. My point is, with digitally releasing them, you are slashing that distribution cost 50, 60%.
Yeah.
So now,
I mean, you would still have some a little bit, but not near.
a little bit, but not nearly as much.
Yeah.
So what's the studio going to turn around and say then? For not having a reason to give the director a piece of the profit, the lead actor a piece of the profit.
Yeah.
So that's why I think at the end, the studio might be the one getting screwed, but overall, it's more beneficial to the group.
Well,
and the consumer, which it's all about us in the end, right?
Yeah. I think from everything you're saying, I think these big box office movies, Marvel,
Right.
DC, Star Wars, probably, Fast and the Furious. I know that's one that's coming out soon. Like, they're all still going to be in theaters, I think, regardless.
Right.
Because they are going to generate so much money.
The other thing I didn't mention is the whole red carpet thing and premieres.
Yeah, but that's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely still going to happen.
That's more costs added on that the studio pays back to itself.
Right. But I think these big movies are definitely still going to be in theaters. However, can these theaters keep running if they're getting half the amount of movies they used to get? How does that going to work?
That's interesting. I mean, like we said, they're going to have to make it worthwhile for the consumer. And this is a big debate in sports too.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do I want to go to a rainy, cold NFL game when most of the regular season games are blowouts nowadays? Like,
I know.
It's so lopsided. And you have no choice. You paid for a ticket. You got to sit there for at least 3/4 or you're not getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
A beer is $13.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I know.
Or I sit in sweatpants with a 30 rack that cost me $12 at the store and watch Red Zone. Game sucks. I flip to the next game.
Right. I know.
They're going to have to match the experience in the movie theater of at home.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know, but thank God I'm not the one that has to come up with it.
Yeah, I mean, thank God. And like we talked about the $19.99, $20 price point. Now that that's been established, is that a problem?
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
They should be scared, movie theaters.
Because The Hunt, Emma, Invisible Man, Trolls, all those were available to rent, I think 48 hours.
Yep.
$19.99.
And you could watch it several times. You really like it?
I know.
Like,
in
I saw
48
The
hours.
Dark Knight in theaters 5 times
I know.
when I was in middle school, high school, whatever.
Right.
If you tell me if I could rent it, I'm fucking ripping that for 2 days.
Yeah. And like, I think the reason that Trolls World Tour has done so well is because it's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
The kid watched it at home.
Everyone's at quarantine, yeah.
Yeah, the kid watched it at home. So the kid knows now that, like, I can watch this on my TV. So
You don't think they're nagging to buy it again? Yeah.
Parents have been rebuying this probably each weekend or whatever. And so I don't think that this is a legitimate and accurate number and example that Trolls is presenting.
Right.
At all.
No.
But we'll see. I think real quick, I want to touch on the Academy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because they changed a few rules this year.
They are going to have to
had
change how they, what's the word I'm looking for? How you qualify.
Yes, and they did. So in the past, a movie, to be eligible to be nominated in any category, a movie had to play in at least one movie theater in LA. I don't know why LA. But, I mean, obviously I know why LA, but why just LA?
Yeah, it's stupid to begin with.
Now they have changed the rules. It can be in New York as one of the cities, Atlanta, Miami. I think there was one more that I'm leaving off. But they have also said that for this year, or for this year, for sure, and then also until further notice, the movie does not have to play in a theater at all.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So if, Netflix, because Netflix has several movies coming out this year that we've talked about that could be, Oscar worthy. Mank is a big one, the David Fincher movie coming out. And they won't have to, if they don't want to, they won't have to release it in a theater. They can release it straight for people to watch at its correct time. According to Netflix, all of their movies this year are in post-production, so everything should stay on schedule.
Right. One person who's pissed is Christopher Nolan with Tenet.
Christopher Nolan is pissed, and
big advocate for the box office.
Yeah, Warner Media made some comments about having to reconsider their theater model and then had to backtrack on those comments because it really pissed off Christopher Nolan because they're releasing Tenet.
When daddy's mad, you listen.
Yes, you do. So they are now saying that they're huge advocates for the theater experience, blah, blah, whatever. Also, with the Academy Awards, I think is really interesting. Sound editing, sound mixing is now combined.
Hey, we talked about that last year. How they should just do that.
Finally figured out what the difference was, and now they're combining them.
Yeah.
And the feature film category can be voted on by all eligible members of the Academy now. So there's that.
That's gonna evolve too, guys. If
the
pandemic shit keeps going on, which seems like it's dying down, but who the fuck knows? And
God forbid we have
hopefully we have an Oscar show. Hopefully we have movies to look forward to in the fall.
Well, I know that's a good point. The Oscars are supposed to be February 28th next year, and I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. God forbid we're still in quarantine.
Someone's going to get a freebie because everything's being pushed to 2021.
I know, right? Like we're going to see Trolls World Tour nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because nothing else came out. All right, so I think to sum it up, we are heading to that digital era. Gas pedal now. It was going there anyway, but coronavirus has just put the foot on the gas. Let's go. People got to start pumping out their streaming services, and we'll see what happens from that and how the box office responds. God bless them. Good luck. Thank God I'm not the one who has to figure out that experience because I'm the homebody. I'm thriving in quarantine. I don't like leaving the house. So enough of that. Now,